The hidden power of Psalm 23, a secret that will change your life. What if I told you there's a hidden secret in Psalm 23, a secret that has the power to completely change your life? A truth so profound and timeless that it has been whispered through generations, offering comfort, peace, and guidance to millions. This isn't just another Bible verse you've memorized or recited when you needed something familiar. No, Psalm 23 holds something much deeper, something that can radically transform the way you view God, yourself, and the world around you. Maybe you've read it 1,000 times. The Lord is my shepherd, the first shall not want. You've heard it at funerals, seen it on plaques, and perhaps even turned to it in times of fear or uncertainty. But have you ever stopped to truly dive into what these words mean? Do you fully understand the weight of the promises God is making in this psalm? Do you realize that Psalm 23 isn't just a beautiful passage for a moment of need? It's a roadmap for living a victorious, peaceful, and purpose-filled life every single day. I know many of us face challenges that feel insurmountable. Life can throw curveballs, loss, grief, financial struggles, doubts, anxieties, and in those moments, it's easy to feel alone, abandoned, or like we have to navigate everything on our own. But here's the secret. God has already provided everything we need to overcome. In Psalm 23, we discover that the Lord is not just a distant, unreachable figure. He is our shepherd, and as our shepherd, He provides, protects, restores, and leads us through every dark valley, every trial, and every uncertainty. This psalm isn't just about comfort, it's about power. It's about walking in the assurance that no matter what you face, God is with you every step of the way. So, why does this psalm have the potential to change your life forever? Because in it, we learn the secret of trusting God in a way that transcends our circumstances. We learn that even in our darkest moments, there's hope. That even when the world seems overwhelming, there's peace waiting for us in God's presence. And most importantly, we uncover the secret to walking in the freedom, strength, and joy that comes from knowing our shepherd's heart for us. Stick with me as we uncover this powerful secret together. By the end of this video, you'll see Psalm 23 not just as words on a page, but as a life-changing truth that can carry you through anything life throws your way. Whether you're facing a battle, feeling overwhelmed, or just longing for deeper peace, this psalm has the power to transform your heart, mind, and spirit. Let's dive into the depths of Psalm 23 and discover the secret that can truly change your life forever. Part 1. The context of Psalm 23. Before we dive deeper into the profound truths hidden within each verse of Psalm 23, it's important to understand the context of the psalm itself. This will help you appreciate the layers of meaning packed into these 6 verses. To grasp the depth of Psalm 23, we need to understand not just the words, but the story and the life behind them. The historical and biblical context. Psalm 23 was written by David, the shepherd king of Israel. David, as you may know, wasn't always a king. He started as a humble shepherd, spending countless days tending to his father's sheep. This is a key detail. You see, David didn't just write about God as a shepherd. He wrote from the perspective of someone who intimately understood what it meant to care for sheep. As a shepherd, David spent hours in the fields, protecting the sheep from predators, leading them to green pastures, and guiding them beside still waters. When David refers to God as his shepherd in this psalm, it's not just a metaphor. It's a deeply personal and experiential reflection of how he understood God's role in his own life. David was keenly aware of God's faithful care for him, how God had been his protector, guide, and provider through every season of his life. Whether it was protecting him from wild animals while he was a shepherd, or saving him from his enemies, David knew firsthand the comfort of God's watchful eye. Psalm 23, as a song of comfort. For centuries, Psalm 23 has been one of the most beloved passages in all of Scripture, often recited in times of grief, fear, or distress. Its words are deeply comforting, reminding us that we are never alone, no matter how dark our circumstances may seem. David's words remind us that God's presence is with us through every trial. But this psalm is not just for times of difficulty. It speaks to our everyday life, offering reassurance that God is constantly watching over us, guiding us, and providing for us. The imagery of a shepherd is so important because it speaks to a deep, relational aspect of God's character. A shepherd's job was not only to provide for the sheep, but to protect them, guide them, and care for them with love and patience. When David calls God his shepherd, he is acknowledging a relationship of deep trust, one in which he is completely dependent on God's leadership and care. And when we recite these verses, we are invited into that same relationship, understanding God as our shepherd. To fully appreciate the depth of Psalm 23, we must understand what it means for God to be our shepherd. In ancient Israel, the role of the shepherd was incredibly important. Shepherds didn't simply herd their sheep. They lived with them. They knew each one by name, and they would go to great lengths to protect them from harm. They were present at every moment, guiding, leading, and caring for their flock. Now, apply this imagery to your own life. God isn't just a distant deity who occasionally checks in on you. He is intimately involved in every detail of your life. He knows you by name. He sees your struggles, your joys, your weaknesses, and your strengths. And as a shepherd, he is actively leading you, guiding you through life's ups and downs, protecting you from harm, and providing for your needs in ways that are beyond what you can imagine. There's a deep comfort in knowing that the creator of the universe is also the one who cares for you personally, like a shepherd cares for his sheep. Part 2. Breaking down Psalm 23 verse by verse. Now, let's take a deeper look at the verses of Psalm 23. Each verse is rich with meaning, and as we break them down, I believe you'll begin to uncover the powerful truths that lie hidden within. Verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, the first shall not want. At the heart of this verse is one of the most powerful declarations of trust in all of Scripture. The Lord is my shepherd. Right away, David makes a personal statement. He doesn't say, the Lord is a shepherd, or the Lord is the shepherd of others. No, he says, the Lord is my shepherd. This is an invitation for you to make this personal declaration as well. God is not just a shepherd, he is your shepherd. The second part of the verse, I shall not want, reveals the outcome of God's shepherding care. To want here doesn't just refer to material needs. Yes, it includes provision for our physical needs, but it goes much deeper. David is declaring that in God's care, he lacks nothing that is truly important. He has everything he needs. Spiritually, emotionally, and physically, God's provision is all-encompassing. And David's complete trust in God as his shepherd means he will never be in want. There's a profound peace in knowing that God is sufficient in every season of life. Verse 2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. This verse brings to mind images of rest and tranquility. Green pastures speak of nourishment and abundance, while still waters offer refreshment and peace. Sheep are often skittish creatures, easily frightened and reluctant to rest. But the Good Shepherd knows when and where to lead them so that they can lie down and be at peace. The psalm is showing us that God, as our shepherd, leads us into places of rest and peace, where we can find spiritual nourishment and renewal. In our busy, often chaotic world, this is a beautiful promise. God doesn't just provide for our needs. He also leads us into moments of rest, true rest, not just physical rest, but spiritual peace. In the busyness of life, we can find solace in God's presence, in the quiet and stillness of being with Him. It's in these moments that He refreshes our weary souls, helping us to regain our strength for the road ahead. Verse 3. He restores my soul, Restoration is at the core of what God offers us as our shepherd. Life has a way of wearing us down, whether it's the burdens of daily life, the pain of past wounds, or the struggles that seem insurmountable. But God, through His care and guidance, offers restoration. The word restore here means more than just fixing something that's broken. It carries with it the idea of returning to a place of wholeness, of renewal, and of healing. When David says that God restores my soul, he's talking about a deep spiritual renewal. Maybe you felt weary, disconnected, or empty. Maybe you've been hurt, and the weight of life has caused you to lose hope. This verse is an invitation to allow God to restore your soul. He's not just concerned with your outward circumstances. He is actively working to heal and restore you from the inside out, bringing you back to a place of wholeness and peace. Part 3. The deeper secret of Psalm 23. Now that we've explored the context and begun to break down the verses of Psalm 23, it's time to uncover the deeper secret hidden within this beautiful psalm. As we've seen, Psalm 23 speaks of God's provision, peace, and protection. But there's something even more profound at play. The secret is not just about God's care for us. It's about how we respond to His leadership. There's a hidden truth in this psalm that can radically change the way we live, think, and experience God on a daily basis. The hidden secret, a call to trust in God's faithfulness. The deeper secret of Psalm 23 is a call to trust in God's faithfulness at the deepest level. It's easy to look at the words, "The Lord is my shepherd," and think of them in terms of comfort and security, which is absolutely right. But let's go even deeper. What does it truly mean for God to be our shepherd? It means that we are invited to trust Him with every single part of our lives, our fears, our dreams, our needs, and our struggles. The secret lies in our willingness to surrender every aspect of our lives to His care and direction. The Lord's role as a shepherd means that He is actively guiding us, protecting us, and leading us to places of peace. But here's the kicker. In order to experience the fullness of that guidance, we must be willing to trust Him completely. It's not enough to acknowledge God as our shepherd. In theory, we must lean into His leadership, rely on His timing, and surrender control over the things we often try to hold on to ourselves. The question is, do we truly trust that God knows best for us? Do we trust that His path for us is the right one, even when it seems difficult or unclear? Psalm 23 is not just about the promises of provision and care. It's about learning to trust God in every season, through the calm waters and the stormy valleys. And when we do, we discover a peace that surpasses all understanding. Living with Psalm 23 as your foundation. The beauty of Psalm 23 is that it offers us more than just a comforting set of verses to recite in times of need. This psalm invites us to make its truths the foundation of our daily lives. Living with Psalm 23 as your foundation means embracing God's leadership in every area of your life. It means surrendering your worries, your fears, your desires, and your decisions into the hands of the shepherd who knows you and loves you deeply. If you allow Psalm 23 to become your foundation, you begin to live differently. You don't just react to life's challenges, you respond with confidence, knowing that God is with you, guiding you, and providing for you. Every trial, every uncertainty, every setback becomes an opportunity to lean more deeply into God's faithful leadership. You begin to trust not just in what God can do for you, but in who He is, your shepherd, your provider, and your protector. As you embrace the truths of Psalm 23, you'll notice a shift in your heart. Fear, anxiety, and doubt lose their grip on you because you know that God is with you. And no matter what comes your way, you are held securely in His hands. Part 4. The life-changing power of Psalm 23. Now that we've uncovered the deeper secret of Psalm 23, It's time to talk about how this psalm has the power to change your life in profound and lasting ways. There's a reason why Psalm 23 has been a source of comfort and strength for believers for thousands of years. It's not just a beautiful set of words, it's a blueprint for living a victorious and peaceful life in the midst of life's challenges. Transformation through trusting God as your shepherd. The first way Psalm 23 changes your life is by transforming your perspective. When you truly begin to live in the reality of God as your shepherd, it transforms the way you see everything: your circumstances, your relationships, and even yourself. Instead of facing life's challenges alone, you recognize that you have a loving shepherd who is actively working on your behalf. This recognition shifts your mindset from fear and insecurity to one of confidence and peace. Imagine walking through each day, knowing that your shepherd is with you. When you encounter challenges, instead of feeling overwhelmed, you approach them with the calm assurance that God is leading you through. You no longer have to carry the weight of your struggles alone. God is with you, guiding you, providing for you, and carrying you through. The transformation happens when you stop trying to fix everything yourself and begin to trust that God's ways are higher, His timing is perfect, and His provision is more than enough. This is not just a one-time change, it's a lifestyle change. It's a shift in your heart that changes how you approach every situation. When you embrace the shepherd's care, you begin to live in the freedom and strength that comes from knowing you are never alone. Psalm 23 and your relationship with God. The second life-changing impact of Psalm 23 is its ability to deepen your relationship with God. The more you reflect on the truths in this psalm, the more you recognize the intimate, personal nature of God's care for you. He's not just your provider, He's your shepherd who leads you with love and gentleness. As you grow in your understanding of God as your shepherd, you begin to cultivate a deeper relationship with Him, one that is built on trust, dependence, and a willingness to follow His lead. When you truly grasp the depth of God's care for you, your relationship with Him deepens. You begin to see Him not just as a distant figure or a provider of blessings, but as a constant presence in your life. You learn to listen for His voice, follow His guidance, and rest in His peace. The more you rely on God's guidance, the more intimately you know Him. And as you experience His faithfulness, your trust in Him grows stronger, impacting others with the secret of Psalm 23. Lastly, when you begin to live in the reality of Psalm 23, you become a source of strength and encouragement for others. The peace and confidence you experience in your relationship with God naturally spill over into the lives of those around you. People are drawn to the calm assurance you radiate because they see something different in you. Your trust in God becomes a witness to the world of His goodness, faithfulness, and love. Living with the secret of Psalm 23 means that you can be a beacon of hope for others. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement to someone in need or simply being present for those who are struggling, your life becomes a testimony to the power of trusting in the shepherd. By living out the truths of Psalm 23, you become a reflection of God's care for others. Part 5. Practical ways to apply the secret of Psalm 23. Now that we've uncovered the powerful truths within Psalm 23, the next step is to learn how to apply these truths to our everyday lives. Knowing that the Lord is our shepherd and embracing His leadership is one thing, but living it out requires intentionality and practical steps. So, how can we begin to integrate the message of Psalm 23 into our daily routines, thoughts, and actions? Daily habits to embrace God's shepherding care. One of the most powerful ways to live out the truth of Psalm 23 is through daily reflection and meditation on these verses. Take a moment each day, whether in the morning or before bed, to reflect on the words of Psalm 23. Let these verses become more than just a part of your spiritual vocabulary. Let them seep into the depths of your heart. For example, when you wake up in the morning, Start your day by remembering that God is your shepherd. Reflect on his care for you and his leading in your life. Begin your day with a prayer of surrender, inviting God to guide you, protect you, and provide for you in every situation throughout the day. Whenever you feel stressed, anxious, or uncertain, pause and remind yourself that you are being led beside still waters, that he is restoring your soul, and that his presence is with you in all things. Incorporating Psalm 23 into your daily prayer life is another powerful way to apply it. As you pray, you can take each verse and turn it into a personal request or praise. For example, pray, "Lord, I trust that you are my shepherd today, and I ask that you provide for all my needs. Lead me to rest, to peace, and to the still waters of your presence. Restore my soul when I am weary, and guide me when I face uncertainty." Living in victory through God's provision and protection. Psalm 23 also gives us a roadmap for living in victory through God's provision and protection. No matter what challenges you face, you can confidently walk through them, knowing that your shepherd is leading you. The key to applying Psalm 23 here is to trust in God's promises. When you feel like you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, when fear, loss, or difficulty threatens to overwhelm you, remember that God is with you, and his rod and staff are there to comfort you. A practical way to live out this victory is by choosing to trust God in the midst of your struggles. Instead of allowing fear, anxiety, or frustration to control your thoughts and emotions, choose to speak the truth of Psalm 23 over your situation. Speak it aloud if necessary. Trust that even in the darkest moments, God is guiding you. He is your shepherd, and he will not leave you to face life's challenges alone. Walking in peace and rest. Finally, living out Psalm 23 means walking in the peace and rest that God provides. As we saw in verse 2, God leads us beside still waters and makes us lie down in green pastures. But we have to be intentional about embracing that peace. In our fast-paced world, it can be easy to overlook the importance of rest. But the peace that Psalm 23 offers is not just a passive peace. It is an active invitation to slow down and allow God to restore your soul. Make time for stillness. Find moments during your day to pause and rest in God's presence. This could be a few quiet moments during a lunch break, a walk in nature, or just a moment of stillness before bed. These moments of rest help you reconnect with God, receive his peace, and remember that he is in control. By living in this rhythm of rest and trust, you allow Psalm 23 to become a reality in your life. Conclusion: embracing the life-changing secret of Psalm 23. As we come to the end of this journey through Psalm 23, I want to leave you with one final thought. The secret of Psalm 23 isn't just about knowing God's promises. It's about experiencing them in a real and tangible way every single day. It's about living in the peace that comes from knowing you are never alone, trusting that the Lord is your shepherd and that he is guiding you, providing for you, and protecting you at every turn. Psalm 23 offers us a picture of a life of victory and peace, one that is centered in the shepherd's care. And the secret that can change your life forever is this: you are not in control, and you don't have to be. God is your shepherd, and he will lead you through every season, every trial, and every triumph. His provision, peace, and protection are enough for you. And when you fully embrace this truth, you will experience a life that is deeply rooted in his love, strength, and guidance. So, I encourage you to take the truths of Psalm 23 and make them a daily part of your life. Meditate on them, pray over them, and apply them in your circumstances. Whether you are in a season of peace or walking through a difficult valley, know that your shepherd is with you, guiding you and restoring your soul. In the end, the life-changing secret of Psalm 23 is not just about what God can do for you. It's about who he is to you. He is your shepherd, and with him you shall not want. With him you will find rest, restoration, and peace. With him you will live a life that is full of joy, purpose, and victory. I invite you to trust in the Lord as your shepherd today, and watch as he transforms your life, step by step, moment by moment. And remember, as you walk with him, he will always lead you beside still waters and restore your soul. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Psalm 23. I pray that the peace and strength of the Good Shepherd fill your heart today and always.